It's live.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in Edessa, Dark Crusade Season 2. I've got very good at these intros now. Just fly by. Tonight we set the scene with two members of the Jakul, the Tismisi, the Fiends, as they have been contacted astrally and telepathically by a known elder of their clan residing within the domain of Edessa. They know them to be their former primogen. The Tismisi have actually lost their right to a primogen fairly recently, at least by Canite standards. Around just over half a year ago. Actually, no, not even that. When many of their kind were slain by the triumvirate of Canaanites known as Hermon, Og, Taib, and Tabris, and their lesser numbers losing them what political sway they had within the city. As a result, the Tismisi are in rough shape, to say the least. And have been struggling to regain a foothold within the city. Even their former domain that they once owned has been carved up by the resurgent Salubri and is slowly being turned into a hospital, something that at least one of these Canaanites might be able to make use of. But the scene does not take us there. In fact, takes us into the forest, to the southeast side of the domain. And you are called quite deep into the forest. And after about an hour of walking within it, it becomes very apparent that this place has been environmentally warped. This is not a natural environment for an arid climate. It's damp, it's wet, almost as if it rains on a semi-regular basis. It's humid. It's warm, even in the middle of night. And there are small ponds, lakes, and even a swamp. The wildlife too looks well, otherwise natural, but ever so slightly off. They have minute deformities. Short tempers, very aggressive, and are a bit larger than normal. Hello again. I'm just explaining the forest you're in. As that is where you've been called to. Forest on the southeast side of the city, Anthony. And the environment is distinctly unnatural for an arid climate. It's humid, it's damp, and oh, there it goes. Like the wind. Clodonosaurs were I've ever seen one.
Oh no.
Alas, if poor Septimus cannot make it, at least his chair shall be well received. It is a lovely chair.
It is a very gorgeous chair. Chair makes everyone else looks like potatoes.
Yeah. It's kind of... This may seem might have a point even. that beauty is lost on a human form. It is, however, well spent on chairs.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Deeper meaning for beautiful chairs.
This is me see for best IQ. But yes, as you make your way into the forest, the ants are generally aggressive, but not with you two. They're aggressive towards each other more so than anything else. And it's as you approach that there will be a slight tremor in the earth, and you will hear something emerge from the ground. In fact, you can probably see it. Given just how long you've walked into the forest, and that you are being guided. You see a twisted white tower begin to emerge from the soil. Reaches up to the canopy of the trees. You all have body crafts and medicine, so it is very obvious to you that this tower is made entirely of bone.
Ooh, I'd like.
Off clap.
And as you approach it, the ground floor of the tower will just click and snap and bend open, giving way for the person inside of it, which is this person. She looks quite young, but her hair is silver white, as if she kind of aged 50 years. And she's not actually wearing any clothes. She's adorned with soil and stone. It's almost as if her body is made of the earth. It's humanoid, but it's very how to say? It's very elementalist. Her upper torso is just seemingly made of rock and stone. Her legs look like tree branches that actually root themselves into the ground as she walks. And her arms look as if they're made of granite. The only how to say mortal-looking feature, but not even that, are her fingers, which are bony claws, which you understand is vicissitude free at work. Rend the osseous frame. If she otherwise approaches you,
a bow.
Mouse will bow as well.
she'll bow to the rest of you. Because she too has etiquette. She would not have lived 300 years as it took me to see without it. Good evening, my kin. I'm glad you made it here. kind of just gazes over you both with a sort of cold stare. Not cold, analytical. I hope your spirits are as fine as your forms.
It's a polite smile.
Indeed.
May I invite you in? Is pleasant as this environment is, it is poorly suited towards more formal discussions.
We are at the mercy of your hospitality.
Then please, I insist. And she'll just kind of gesture towards the tower, and it will open up for you. It will even open up as if to perfectly fit your size.
Fun. How tall is Mouse?
Mouse lives up to its namesake. Mouse is very smooth.
Very small.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, probably around like 4'5" give or take, and they wear a very comically oversized monk's robe. It looks like the robe should be on someone like 7 foot tall. So there's a lot of fabric. They don't when they lift up their hands, it's not their hands. It's just like anime tropish. It's just sleeve. Ow, hit my hand. But yeah.
Just hiding a tiny Zulu.
Pretty small one.
A really small Zulu. But yes, you enter, and this place is. It's a bit strange because you know bone isn't. It's not the color white, but it's almost as if everything here has been polished to an almost marble-like sheen. And as you enter, the floor will reorganize itself into a table and 2 chairs for you both. This place is actually quite tall. It goes as far as the canopy of a tree, so it's like 10 floors. And you can actually see if you check the spiraling staircase. It is just one giant extensive library.
Very nice.
It could be equivocated to literally being a wizard's tower made of people.
Aww.
Jealous.
Right?
Gotta step it up. Damn.
She, do you have your chair with you?
Yes.
I assume you will offer it to her for her to sit down on.
Of course.
It is the
cries.
nicest looking chair.
Oh, it cries when she sits on it. Sobs.
Oh my god.
Jesus. We're just reveling in our awful.
This is not even the tip. Like
This is just the beginning. She has a tower that's a giant library made of people, and you just run a giant medieval IKEA store made of people.
This can happen. Thank you for the
Mm.
idea.
And Mouse just makes people animals.
Yes.
Great, it's Countess Nisi. We are the best. But yes, no, she will. No, she responds very positively to your gift. She'll simply say, "Your generosity is most appreciated, Lord Septimus. I must say, your work is fine, even by my eldritch standards."
You know, it's the city is lacking in a lot of etiquette. There's a lot of how should we say, people that aren't fit to lead. I'm just waiting for my time. I'm just glad I had time to do this.
Yes, Fistamin could use someone of your pedigree. It is wasted on the venture in La Sombra. But for the record, if it was less than 5 successes, she would have rejected it.
Oh, that would have been sad.
It would have been sad. Yes. She will sit on it and it will weep. Its legs will weep. You may not have noticed it due to the rather extensive nature of this place. But this library is in fact quite empty. Much of this place was intended as an archive repository of sorts for greater powers. A greater power whose works have been stolen from our clan. The works of the Drakon. No one needs to roll Clan War to know who that is, unless someone needs to know the explanation.
I don't think so.
Okay. Before we could retrieve much of the Drakon's great library, a significant portion of it was being pawned off at an auction hosted by the now Prince. She speaks of it as if in air quotes. Of Constantinople, Alfonso. A war of bids that questionably the Settites succeeded in winning. And have stored somewhere within their temple. I have been focusing much of my time here, attempting to locate said temple. But it appears that Primogen is possessed of a talent in obfuscate that exceeds even my own sight. And they seem to have accrued a way to ensure that even the animals do not approach or avoid located. Anyone want to comment? Because she does finish.
No. The Setites in the city, are they represented and thought of fondly by the populace?
They are represented but not looked upon particularly fondly. They have gathered a great deal of power at the expense of the long-term gains they would have otherwise achieved. They have damaged their reputation. They have attempted to strike a concord with me. And that's in exchange for a major favor. They will create replicas of the Dracon's works that will pass on to us. I have no intent of sitting by while they bastardize our clan's creations.
Does our clan have any allies, so to speak?
We did then. Herman and his compatriots launched the Praxis War, and for whatever twisted reason, we were among their first targets. I believe it was because Tabras had a grudge he wished to fulfill. He did not have a slay all of us, not me. And one of my childhood still remains. How the many in the city have forgotten our value and power. It's perhaps something they and the Setite should be reminded of. Once, a few years ago, we were allied with the Assamites. And the Gangrel, as a matter of fact. But they have since retreated themselves into their own domains, into their own feuds and affairs. The change in princedom changed the paradigm of this city, at least on the surface, not in actuality. The prince wished to break up the power blocks that were feuding over the issue of the usurpers and the Salubri. While they have formally succeeded, there are still lines in the sand that have been drawn, still sides that are being taken. I believe it is only a matter of time until violence breaks out again. Ironically, the only figures keeping such violence in check right now are the Tremere and Salubri Primogen. Ultimately, however, my primary purpose here is to retrieve what was unjustly taken from us, and then to remind the Sombra of Constantinople the follies of such action. She seems to imagine something in her head. She seems almost like she's reminiscing. But for the future. Septimus.
Yes.
You have Way of Spirit, don't you?
Indeed.
So you know you could actually probably just break through such obfuscate whenever you wanted.
That will be my first task then.
I assume you notified the Elder of this.
Have more information. I will report back to yourself and my compatriot.
I myself have had several servants track the Setites throughout the slums. It's where they've always made their havens. The Arab slums on the southeast side of the city. They always vanish at the southernmost end of the district. So that is likely where you will find their temple. But be cautious, it is within the Primogen's domain, and their warriors are always nearby. They are they are unusually forward for one of their clan. And they tend to resort to violence at the drop of a coin.
I see.
That said, I think an opportunity can be created for you. The city is very much in a state of chaos right now, as I'm sure you're all very keenly aware. The Praxis War has made hunting for the less capable and established of us, I suppose. And it has also caused the mortals to become unruly towards our presence. It would perhaps not be entirely out of the ordinary if said warriors were to vanish under the premise of mortal intervention.
Right.
She kind of looks towards Mouse, by the way, when she says that, as in, you're going to help me do this.
Mouse will nod. Just kind of like that, I will help nod.
Yes, this will work out.
Should be good. No one will ever recognize me. It shall be.
Well, you're not wrong. Oh no, who killed them? This
Whoops.
clear intruder. If only we had a scourge.
If only.
If only we had a scourge.
Perhaps one day.
Perhaps one day. Well, they did. Then he got fired.
Scourge got greedy. What can I say?
Scourge got a bit too greedy. But yeah.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Outside of the temple, I know where all the satellites are located. They've been rather lax towards me, almost criminally so. But then that is a talent of theirs.
Think they are hoping that you will. They could lure you out and acting in impulse.
Perhaps. Although their general regard for the domain is that they don't seem to perceive it as a threat. Nothing within or without. They seem to have grown arrogant in their power. A power like which most things they possess, they stole from those more deserving. So, Mouse, was it?
Yes.
I would humbly request your assistance in dealing with this coterie of warrior Setites.
Of course. I will do my best to help.
Excellent. Perhaps if you are successful, as I've heard, you have no idea where she's heard of you.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, no, Mouse is just like, wait, what? You've heard
Perhaps Turn of the Dragon will be finding its way to your abode. She'll smile at you. Very pleasantly, far too pleasantly. It's very uncanny valley. Everything about the Tismisi is uncanny valley, but this is even more uncanny valley.
So with that, Mouse will just sort of nod slightly, still looking a bit confused. Well, actually, no, Mouse isn't looking confused. It's hard for Mouse to look anything, honestly. But they will nod Hence, that would be most curious and welcomed indeed. Might I ask a personal question?
She rests back onto the weeping chair, which just nourishes the bone-like floor. She seems to silently permit you to do so.
I am curious to know where you've heard of me. Oh wait, shit, first of all, before I ask that, does that go against my fucking path? Because I know it's stupid.
It depends on how high up you are in Metamorphosis.
It's like, oh, don't ask other people for knowledge. I mean, it's a simple question. Is that knowledge? That's pretty high up. It's like 6? I don't know.
6. Well, that's what would be considered. You'd be considered an adherent.
Oh, it's 7. It's one above asking another for knowledge.
Yeah. This isn't really asking another for knowledge in the sense that you're not asking for book knowledge or something like that. I'd be willing to kick you there.
Okay.
You're just like if you were like in a battlefield situation and you asked what's the situation on the ground here, that wouldn't be a breach of your road. That's just
Okay.
accruing some basic facts to ensure you don't die horribly. It's really about you're reaching your own state of self-actualization, where that part of the road comes into play. And rather, she has offered you knowledge in exchange for success, which is actually quite in line with your road. Up until level 9, funnily enough. But yeah. She will... she will simply smile and say, Viobertus and Denislav have been friends for many generations, dear mouse. They're quite fond of you.
Huh. See. Thank you.
I think your talents will become most useful. Not just in what is to come, but in reacquiring this hospital that the Siluri have set themselves hell-bent on creating. I will admit they did manage to acquire quite an impressive amount of support towards its construction. I believe the one currently working on its design is La Sombra Neonate. I believe his name was Menmon.
The crafter.
Yes. I believe he has set his eyes on it being his magnum opus, as it were. I doubt he will get the opportunity again for at least a few decades. But perhaps we can use him.
Indeed.
He is generally earnest. But like all the Sombra, he will turn on his benefactors if given the correct offer. She considers for a moment what that actually might be. Then something occurs to her. He seems to have a taste for canine blood. Perhaps the offering of one such as Tabris might turn him to our cause. Or another of significant power. For the record, she is just suggesting let's give him another Tadambares, and that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Easy
Yeah,
peasy.
it's not like Tabris is an absolute motherfucking tank.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy, lemon
He doesn't
squeezy.
have 5 dots in every physical discipline, no. He's fine.
Easy. Lemon squeezy.
He doesn't have 6 dots in fortitude, what? Or Warrior Laren. No. No, everything's fine.
He's a big
This
boy.
is simple.
We got this. Where's the
We
meat
got this.
after all?
Yeah.
We're gonna die horribly.
We don't need physical disciplines, we have Zulo.
Yeah, everything else will fixes most problems, but
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we could just, oh gosh, we can create a Vosge or something, I don't know, and send that after him.
That
I
actually might
mean,
work.
send like a whole bunch of O's and be like, all right, first wave, second wave, and then we go.
Right? Y'all actually do all the hard work. We'll come in and collect the spoils, as
Yeah,
expected.
it's not even unfair. Like, he could probably take out like 3 Vosge and not even care, just because of how broken he is, but
I
he's
mean,
just
we'll
so
just
bad
create
at
4.
We'll just make like 6, and action economy because we can break the system too.
God, by the time we're done, Edessa's just going to be empty as a city.
That's why we import them from out Hong Kong. Oh my god.
literally flesh crafting the immigrants.
We don't have an immigration problem here.
Oh my god. Alright.
Our crime levels have gone down too.
Crime's down, employment's up. It's a great time to be living in Edessa. You have Misi to thank for it.
Everybody's, scared, to watch the
Terrified.
explode at night, but it's working out.
How Machiavellian. They both love and fear their leaders.
We don't talk about the Babadook that stalks the street and shit. Like,
Ask questions? Oh, good.
But yes. I believe a canine of sufficient quality of the blood will please him quite nicely. If he helps us in reclaiming this hospital in our domain. It was once a small community we had total control over. One of the more secure domains. Perhaps that is why Herman and Tavros targeted it first. But I suppose there is little more to be said on this matter. If he discovers something else that catches Menmon's eye, the more efficient for us, the better. I'd hate to lose more of my clan on ill-begotten crusades.
Of course.
Much of our clan is left.
Or is there only one outside of this circle that still remains? My child, she's looking right now. Just find it real quick. Why are you not here? One sec.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God damn it. I don't think she's on here. That's really annoying. Okay, she'll give you the name.
Okay.
She's not actually on the list of NPCs, which is frustrating. And my PC is dead, sad face.
Let's do some necromancy. Bring it back.
Well, there is now Giovanni in the city. It is a possibility.
One of which that owes me a major boon.
Yep.
Hey.
Sure, you could cash in that major boon tap and just lead you into the temple once you find it through Shadlands.
That could be a thing.
That would be pretty funny, I don't know why.
That would definitely do it.
We're suddenly there, like, sup, boss? Like,
Destroy it from the inside out.
evil. Kind of wanted to use that for something selfish, but let's see what we can do.
Hey, more dead sides, the better. At least that's what I say. Probably not anyone playing it said I don't mind. They're about as liked as it just me, so it's fine. But yeah. I shall simply say, my charter is a reasonably accomplished sorcerer. However, she has been in hiding ever since. So we struck down the majority of our clan and took over most of the farmlands. The gangrel have been of little help, to be frank. Largely been wrapped up in a conflict involving the Ravnos and the usurpers. The Scourge has been stripped of his title and status for holding Gangrel for an unreasonably long period of time. The Gangrel accused him of working with usurpers to have them turned. But the court found no link. In any case, the former Scourge hasn't been seen within his domain for at least a good month now. And there is no Scourge to, well, take the place of the former. Which I suppose will make our tasks even easier. But is there anything you would request of me? You are, of course, my honoured guests.
Should the time arise, would you be willing to accompany us to the dwelling?
Yes. She looks at Mouse. Does Mouse look like she has anything she wants to ask?
Not particularly, but Mouse will kind of ask, are there any limitations we should be aware of?
Or did she say invocations?
Limitations. Like, what's the shit we're not supposed to do while we're doing this? Like, can we just, like, is this like all out warfare? Do we gotta be sneaky?
Boys, like, what's going to happen?
I will trust you to act with some manner of subtlety. We cannot take, or we should not take, rather, that which would expose us, not for forms that we are known by, but perhaps those lesser known, but just as dangerous. And I would advise not making any particular plays on other members of the domain while we are involved in this endeavour. The less attention we draw to ourselves, the better. If the city must know after the fact, then so be it. At that point, it will be irrelevant. The Setites will be dead and buried.
Of course.
But this weak prince holds no true hegemony over the domain. The seneschal is the closest thing to the prince this wretched pit of a city has. And I have not spoken with him in some time. But if that is all, then you are free to remain or leave at your leisure. All I would ask is that the contents of my library be left to its devices. So yeah, you're free to leave or peruse.
Um, if there's nothing else to talk about, Sultimus will kind of excuse himself.
Mouse is gonna go freaking tiptoe among the books.
Side eye.
Oh wait, wasn't that offered, or did she say to go?
She
She
said
said
that
you can. You said you can remain or leave, but she wishes for her library to be left alone, or rather, left to
Oh,
its own devices.
I thought she said you could go amongst the library. I'm dumb. No, Mouse is gonna.
Maybe you can. Yeah, maybe if you help her out, she'll give you access one
Yeah,
day in 2 centuries.
I mean, if she dies in the conflict,
yeah. Just
She
saying.
does in the conflict. You'll have to access it somehow because this place is not natural.
this
Look,
is true.
big dick energy. We'll just come in here with that.
I fleshcraft the biggest dick to swing at the ground, and so the tower shall be again.
No, big dick energy isn't physical. It's like
I will make a bone phallus and we will thrust it into the ground.
Oh, I, I swing my +6 ag phallus.
Directly into the ground.
Oh my god. Alright. But, yeah. But no, she has at least offered Mouse something in exchange for success, but no doubt Saturninus will accrue something out of this as well, so long as he doesn't die horribly, like the rest of the Macy did. Oops.
Mhm.
It's fine. They were weak. They were failures. That's what we just call what dead.
That's basically how Septimus sees it.
Yeah. But yes, with that, you're both free to leave outside of back into the forest, and with that, the tower begins to sink back into the ground, leaving you two alone. And I think that's where we can end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.